Hey guys, so here are your notes for how to do this new formatting we're going to learn. So we've learned so far claim evidence, and we're just adding on one more really important step, which is going to be the explanation piece. Uh, so if you look at our daily objective, that's exactly what you're supposed to be mastering for today. So this video should be exactly what you need to learn this. So claim is our answer plus because. Or other, also known as a reason, right? So you give your answer and you give the reason why. You start with because. Our evidence is always just textual evidence. So you say, like, in the text it says, comma quotes, period quotes, right? The last piece here is explanation. And this is where you explain how your evidence proves your claim. Okay, this is going to be the most important step for you. So you're explaining how this quote that you pulled is going to prove what you believe the answer is. And it might not seem like this is important when it's just a real simple direct question, but when it comes to an analysis, when you have to draw an inference, this is going to be really, really important. Okay, so looking at that passage you guys read yesterday as your exit slip, right here, remember this? You read this passage about Kelvin, and it was him about to get into a fight. So I did most of the work for you guys. So I said claim, Kelvin is waiting to fight James at 4, but he doesn't want to. Okay, so that's the claim that I'm trying to prove now. The evidence that I pulled, I went back into the story and I found this quote. So I said in the text it says his muscles were tense and he was sweating a bit more than usual. Now I'm going to show you how I would think through the explanation, and you'll fill it in on your paper. So I'm thinking, how does this prove it? Well, the reason I pulled this quote is usually before you get into a fight, your muscles, your body starts to respond to the stress of it. And this is usually how your body does. So I'll say my explanation. Usually before you get into a fight, your body starts to get pumped up and stressed. So tense muscles and sweat shows that he's ready for some action. Okay? You're going to do it for the second one here. My claim is the same. I'm still saying Kelvin is waiting to fight James at 4, but he doesn't want to. My evidence is a different piece now in the text. It says, always starting with that, comma quotes, comma always to the left of quote unquote, period also always to the left. So here's my quote. The other kids gathered in front of the little storefront. Were much more relaxed, even playful. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. The reason I pulled this quote is because it makes sense that if you're going to watch a fight, you're going to be much more relaxed than if you're actually the one who's going to be doing the fighting. Also, the fact that people are there to watch tells me that this is probably going to be a fight. I know this because whenever there is a fight, usually people do it in front of their friends, or they try and get a crowd together, or they try and make sure that it's seen. Okay, so that's just me kind of talking it through. So figure out your own explanation. You can take what I said or do it yourself, but you see how the explanation is kind of a thought out full response. It's not just one or two words. It's really kind of explaining, why did I pull out this piece, right? You guys are getting to the point where you're pointing out the best textual evidence, not just a quote that works, but the best piece. And this is where you get to really prove it and explain why that is the best piece. Okay, there's two more for you to do. These are actually a little bit tougher, so you're going to challenge yourself by doing it independently without me. The first is Kelvin felt smaller as your evidence. The second one is Kevin gulped, 358. Okay, pause me quickly fill out the explanation for those last two there. Okay, so explanation, thinking it through, I would say something like, the fact that Kelvin feels smaller shows he doesn't really want to be there. He feels intimidated by the person he's about to fight. My explanation for the next one, the 358 one, I would say that the fact that Kelvin is so aware of the time that he goes from saying 356, 357, 358, and he's getting more and more nervous, that shows that he's ready for something to happen really soon. And so it tells me it's probably 4 o'clock that he's waiting for, especially when Kelvin walks up at that time. I also know that kind of the stereotype is people plan their fights for a certain time. So if they say 4 o'clock at the corner store, this is a way that that kind of also proves it. Okay, what you're going to do now is read this separate story here, a fresh one that you haven't read before, and your job is going to be to answer this question using the format that you're trying to master. Okay, you're going to try and answer using the claim, evidence, explanation format. Okay, all right, good luck. Thank you for watching, guys. As soon as you are done, you're reading the next section of Freak the Mighty, and please make sure wherever you are starting is fine. Don't feel like you need to blow through this book. A lot of us are just kind of reading, skimming the pages or even skipping chapters, and it's going to just kill the book for you. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to understand it, and it's just going to come back and get you. So please make sure, even if you're only on chapter 2, 3, 4, that's fine. Or even if you're like, man, I'm totally stuck, Mr. Devitt. I don't even know who Max or Freak is. I can't even tell you about their dad. Maybe just start back at the beginning. And that would be totally fine. Okay. Also remember, if you do need to get caught up, this is all in Google Classroom. I uploaded the PDF, which is just basically I uploaded the book into Google Classroom. It's titled Freak the Mighty Chapters 1 through 6. I put the first part in there. So if you ever fall behind at home, feel free just to log in and you actually have access to the book. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of class. Thank you for being so wonderful.